Hey, welcome everyone. This is Mike from ZozoStockWatch.com and some breaking news after hours tonight. This is going to be your stock watch list for Wednesday, the 7th of March. So let's go ahead and we'll get right into it. Top economic advisor Gary Cohn leaves the White House in wake of tariff rift with President Trump. Stock futures right now down about 411 points. S&P futures down about 38. NASDAQ futures down about 100 points. It's about 7:41 Eastern Time, my time. So this courtesy of the trade exchange. Gary Cohn resigned and the futures started moving down. Larry Kudlow, Jason Miller, David Irvine are said to be on the short list to replace Cohen, and that's from Citi, but this is courtesy of the trade exchange. So the futures, as you can see, the futures moving down. The SPY still trading, will be showing up until about 8 o'clock in the after hours. So SPY down at the lows here at 268.50. This blue line represents the 50 SMA off the daily, so you can see we had trouble getting through that all day today on this SPY 5-minute chart, and then finally in the after hours we had that news come out, so the SPY is moving down. A couple of areas of support here to watch, maybe this 267 spot, and then after that we have the low from Friday, which was March 2nd, and the low then was 264.82. Now I don't know if we'll get that far down. They seem to be bouncing them a little bit, the futures and the SPY here, but those are some levels. 267. Okay, and then after that you have that 264.82, so about 265 level, depending on how they want to open them in the morning. And then as you can see, that blue line, like I said, is the 50 SMA. That's the price of it. It's around 273.18, and we had problems getting through that all day today. Bulls were trying to push it up through that 50 SMA today and kept getting rejected. We moved down, we tried again, and then in the after hours moving that SPY down. Let's go ahead and check some other news that came out after the bell. We had crude inventories, actually a build in crude. This is the API crude data. So let's take a look at USO oil. Was moving down in the after hours a little bit as there was a build in the API. Some other news that came out, H&R Block beat on earnings per share beat and revenue miss, HRB. All right, so a nice pop there, holding some of its gains on H&R Block after hours. AV came out with earnings after the bell, AV, and they were also awarded a $44.5 million Puma AE UAS contract. But that stock moving down in the after hours tonight. Autodesk had earnings after the bell tonight, ADSK. Big pop in Autodesk. And that stock moving up in the after hours, holding most of its gains there. As you can see, they moved it down and then pushed it back up on Autodesk. They had an earnings per share and revenue beat on ADSK. Roast, ROST, earnings per share and revenue beat, ROST. That stock popped up but now selling off in the after hours. Run, S-Run, also had earnings after the bell. I believe that one was down in the after hours. They did pop it at first, then they've been moving it down. That might be because of the market weakness in the after hours. Let's see, CLSD, Clearside announces proposed public offering of common stock. So that was a CLSD, a strong biotech name. That stock holding up in the after hours, even though with announcing that offering. Sunrun missed by 13 cents, but beat on revenue. That's what I was looking for, Run. So anyway, they popped that run up and then pulled it back. SPPI Pharmaceuticals misses by 4 cents, misses on revenue. SPPI stock moving down in the after hours on SPPI. Roast, like we said, their earnings came out. They popped it. They moved it down. Let's see, what else do we have? ZGNX misses by 27 cents. ZGNX, that stock, not much going on in the after hours in that name. And let's see, what else do we have? Edit misses by 6 cents, misses on revenue. So EDIT, a biotech name, rolling over in the after hours. Urban Outfitters beat by 6 cents, beat on revenue. URBN. And Urban kind of volatile in the after hours, kind of all over the place. So Urban, not really giving us much direction in the after hours. I would say leaning towards the downside there. Let's see. AOBC, American Outdoor Brands Corporation, publishes response to BlackRock inquiries. So that was AOBC. That's the old Smith & Wesson. Nothing much going on there in the after hours. We talked about crude oil. Carvana, CVNA, misses by 2 cents, missed on revenue. CVNA, Carvana, stock moving down in after hours. H&R Block we spoke about. Guidewire Software beats by 14 cents, beat on revenue. GWRE, that stock moving up in the after hours. OPTT had earnings after the bell. Not a big company, bidding down. OPTT. They reported third quarter results, third quarter earnings per share of minus 9 cents on OPTT. IDRA, Baker Brothers 13D, owns 18% or 38.95 million shares, up from 18 million shares. 18.3 million shares. So IDRA was up in the after hours. IDRA as Baker Brother takes a bigger stake in that name. Then there's the Gary Cohn resigns news that came out, and some earnings for tomorrow. Before the bell, you have ANF, ATHM, DS, Golf, Momo, MOMO, Plug, and TRVN, once again, courtesy of the Trade Exchange. Let's go ahead and look at our calendar of events for tomorrow real quick. Companies reporting tomorrow, I went over for you. A lot of Fed speak tomorrow. William Dudley at 7:30, another Fed speak at 8 o'clock, and then at 8:20, William Dudley comes back in another speech. We have oil numbers coming out tomorrow at 10:30. So a lot. Beige Book comes out at 2 o'clock p.m. Tomorrow for Wednesday the 7th. And don't forget, the unemployment or the employment number, employment situation number, comes out Friday at 8:30, the non-farm payrolls. Let's go ahead and we'll take another look at the futures here. All right, futures down, still around about 400 points. NASDAQ futures, some buying coming in, but still down sharply here on the futures. One last look at the SPY in the after hours. A little bit of a pop here. So remember those two areas around 267 and then 265, we'll call it. And then the 50 SMA. Let's see what the math is on the 50 SMA. 273.30 actually right now. So I'll go ahead and adjust my line. 273.30 is where the 50 SMA is currently. Okay, and you see we couldn't breach that. We couldn't get over that all day today. And then the news after hours tonight moving it down. So how do you play this tomorrow? What do you do, right? So some stocks that I'll have on my watch list tomorrow, Apple moving down in the after hours. So I'll look for maybe a possible bounce play in Apple. Some of the steals were actually moving up. AKS moving up, letter X moving up in the after hours as, they're going to be protected by the tariffs. CLF was moving up, so I'll have this on watch for tomorrow. So X, AKS, CLF will be some names I'll be watching. Another name that I'll be watching is Micron Technologies, MU. All right, not much of a sell-off here in after hours, holding up pretty strong actually. But if we get a further push down in MU, might get a bottoms up type of play in MU at some point during the day, or right as the morning progresses. So we'll have MU on watch. Some other things I'll have on watch. I'll be watching TIVX. All right, as you can imagine, there'll probably be volatility tomorrow. TIVX will be on watch. UV, XY, all of them popping in the after hours. UV, XY moving up after hours. So I'll be looking for a trade in these, and then some of the inverses. Right, TZA. If the market wants to continue down, this is an inverse of the IWM. All right, so if the IWM moves down, right, TZA will move up. So this is a way you can get moves up as the market moves down. So basically you're going long the TZA, and as the IWM moves down, this will be moving up. Some other names or some other things that you can play that are inverses, the SDS, the SPXU, you can do the SDOW, all right, is another inverse. The DXD is also another inverse, all right? So kind of, pick your inverse that you like and keep an eye on that, but also, watch these volatilities. They're nice during the day. You can get some nice trades in these like TIVX and UVXY. All right, so I'll be watching those for possible plays in those. And then, like I said, I'll be watching some of the steel names. Some other names I'll be watching, Square has been very strong, so looking for, maybe a pullback in Square to maybe get involved in that. Maybe a day trade that leads to a swing trade. If we get in and it moves up and we get a nice cushion, maybe we'll be able to hold some of that overnight. So SQ will be on watch. CLSD not too affected in the after hours from that offering, been showing great strength, so I'll be watching CLSD. Will be another one watching. Like I said, Apple, H&R Block, had the earnings popped up, so that one might be on watch tomorrow. Autodesk also giving a nice strong move here in the after hours tonight, so might get some type of setup there on ADSK. ZSAN, I'll be watching this one. Gave a nice pop in intraday trading today. Nice move in this one. And so I'll be watching ZSAN. I'll also be watching 10X in case this one wants to make a move tomorrow in TENX. Let me see if there was anything else that I wanted to maybe get into tomorrow. I think that's about it for it. This AQ has been very strong. It's a recent IPO. I'll be watching this maybe for an entry. AQ. Also, CA actually has been pretty strong. So I'll be watching CA. All right. So we have to see how they're going to open. I don't want to give you too big of a list, but the main thing is to note that the futures are down tonight on that Cohn resignation. Gary Cohn, the top economic advisor from in the Trump administration. So a little bit of chaos in the administration, and they'll probably have to find a new guy. And like we said, the SPY moving down after hours, a little bit of a bounce. Remember those kind of two areas, this 267 spot, and then after that around that 265. Now I don't know if we'll get all the way down there, but that's just two areas that you might want to keep on watch, or they could just bounce it up. The guys in the pajamas, as Kramer likes to say, could come in and buy the futures and move them back up. All right, so it looks like we're going to have a busy day tomorrow. We got some inverses we can watch. We have some volatility, the TIVX and the UVXY to trade, and then I'll be looking at MU, Square, Apple, tier one companies, tier one companies. Maybe we get a pullback in like a NVIDIA or something like that, and we get a bounce play in a NVIDIA. All right, so that's the watch list. Fast and furious tonight on that news of Gary Cohn leaving the White House.